well, folks, this one is sure to be explosive. We're down at Nova Forza with Aaron Blackwell Smackwell. I got that correct?
Smackwell, Blackwell.
Smackwell, Blackwell. Okay, all right.
You won't forget that.
We've got it right. Before we start, you brought in a bit of a Blackwell yourself there. What's happened there?
Oh, it's because I train with a few beasts, obviously. An old competitive rival, let's say, Afnan Saeed. We fought in the past. He gives me a few licks because he knows me well, but I gave him a few licks back, so we're on even terms. But yeah, my training is going very well, but I get pushed to my limits and beyond them, so that's to be expected. I do this here, so I don't get it in there.
Matt Bourne, he's the head PR guy at Bamma. I know he's been chomping at the bit for us to get this interview. No doubt this is going to be slightly controversial and a little bit in the way of explosive.
So I was getting frustrated with seeing all these interviews with different people talking about, I can't, no one will fight me, no one's going to fight me, I'm the best in the division, like James Brum, I had to move up to featherweight because no one will fight me, but all the people that are my weight are just ducking me, blah blah, Ronnie Man, all these people just basically moving out of the division. And then I just looked at the rankings one day and I thought, you know what, I'm looking through this list and I thought, what do I think of everyone on this list? So I started writing it down. Got my Photoshop out and was like, you know what, I'm going to write it down and see where my thoughts are at. And I thought, Brett Johns was like, last time I watched him, that guy's boring. Who wants to watch him? I was like, he spent 5 rounds with James Brum, another boring fighter, obviously. And man, I nearly fell asleep by the 3rd round. I go down, I go, you know what, Mike Wooten, yeah, well done. Yeah, definitely well placed at 2nd. Fell out of the UFC, didn't really do much after that. Again, boring. Brad Pickett, I have respect for Brad. I fought Brad in the past, so you know what? He should be number 1. He's in the UFC. Those other 2 guys, what have they done? They barely won a title in the UK. They haven't done anything in the international scene. Why do they count as number 1? I don't know. Shaj Hack calls himself Superman, but every time I watch him, he's just super boring. Shay Walsh, oh my God, come down from featherweight. He should have stayed at featherweight. Is the slowest, most boring fighter in the division. Next, Ian Entwistle. I don't even know who he is, but he probably should just go back up to featherweight. Ed Arthur. I trained with him a few years ago. Whooped him regularly, basically. Then he come on Facebook and said, I trained with him. I've been training for 3 months. Well, when I counted, he'd still been doing 2 years, and he was crying every time I kicked him. And Dean Garnett. Oh man, just reminds me of a Chihuahua, and only takes easy fights. Ronnie Man, again, I have respect for actually. Really nice guy. Trained with him, fought him in the past. But he moved up to featherweight, but I think he's better off there. Beyond that, you've got just a list full of bums who have basically ducked people to get through the rankings. And you know what? What makes it worse is the rankings for me are just a shield. They're a shield. Do you know what? Bruce Lee said once, if you can't go in the front door, go in the side door. So I started thinking about these guys and said, you know what? I don't need to fight these guys. They're too busy worrying about the rankings. I'll just go round them. I'll just keep going. So I just made my way to number 11. I didn't even fight most of these guys. I fought Adam Ventre and then whooped him. Couldn't touch me, couldn't even catch me throughout most of the fight. Most of these guys are just, pretty much move up to featherweight. They're all fat and lazy, and most of them couldn't catch me anyway. So yeah, that was really my thoughts on it.
Aaron, just talk us through, what's been going on with you basically up until the point where we're at right now.
Well, it's pretty simple really. I had a plan, it worked. It's like fishing. All I had to do was put the right bait in the water, got all the bantam weights just circling around, clucking like chickens, everyone's riled up. Obviously Bamma are interested. There's the infamous list, which I put out with a few details about some of the bantam weights. And it got me to where I am now. I've got straight into Bamma with a title shot. I've been around a long time anyway, it's not like I don't deserve it. But yeah, I'm happy to be fighting Philpot. So it's a good opportunity for me. As I said, it all went to plan really. I knew one of those guys and he's the most hot-headed, so it was great that he was the one that chomped at the bit.
Tell us, obviously, you've been around for a long time and, you went on record and saying, you deserve to be in this position that you're in right now. Tell us the history between you and Philpot and, how you sort of bit at the bait, so to speak.
There's no history. I don't really rate the kid. I respect him, so I'll be honest, I respect him for what he's achieved. He's young, he's 23. But you know, there's not much about him that I really rate. I think he's a peacocker. I think he's very arrogant, but I think that makes him desperate. And I see right through it. And he's young. He's a kid. He's scared. That's the truth. He's got all that pressure on his shoulders at 23. He just got back from Japan. He lost in 2 minutes to a world-class guy. Every time Philpot gets to a world-class position, he either chokes physically or lost my words totally. Sorry, or figuratively. So yeah, you know, he's training at the Last Generation gym. They should be called Next Generation, but they've moved into Last Generation. You know, all their fighters are just either coming off losses or draws. If I was him, I wouldn't be trusting a thing any of them said, because one, like I said, they're not winning. Two, they're putting in opportunities he can't take advantage of. He's not ready for. He's 23. He's got a record like me at 23, but I've been around the block for 13 years. He's been for 5 minutes. He's over. His career's almost over. He shouldn't even be in there with me now. His management should be looking after him. His coach should be looking after him. If I was Philpot, I'd stop talking to my grandfather in my grave and start looking at my teammates around me and saying, damn, why are you guys not telling me the truth? I'm obviously not that good. I keep getting beaten. Why don't you just tell me the truth? So there must be massive trust issues between him and his team. You know, I just think realistically, you know, he's in real danger in this fight. He's in real danger of getting seriously hurt. And that's because his team is just basically feeding him like a lot of lies, blowing smoke up him and saying, you can do it, but he can't do it. He hasn't got statistically on paper the ability to even do it. And if I was him, I'd be questioning myself every step of the way. And you know, history's going to repeat itself. He's going to lose again on September 10th. He just lost. His record shows he's an inconsistent athlete. I wouldn't even say he's an athlete. I'd say he's a fighter. He's coming to fight. I'm coming to win. That's the difference between the both of us.
I mean, after, you know, kind of laying that all on the line, I mean, how do you foresee this fight actually going? What is your, you know, what are the holes you can see in Philpot's game that you feel that you're going to and can exploit?
He's desperate. It's as simple as that. He's young, he's desperate, he's coming off a big loss already. Every time he gets to the world stage, every time he gets a world title or a carrot dangled in front of his face, he starts getting desperate. He starts rushing the fight. I see him rushing it, making a mistake and getting finished. Like I said, either choking out verbally or fundamentally he just chokes, full stop.
The Lonsdale title. How did the negotiations sort of go about? How did you actually find yourself in this position for, you know, this title shot with Bamma right now?
I'm excited. Like, let's be honest, you know, the kind of guys that go on there right now, there are some talented guys, don't get me wrong, there's some guys that are pretty exciting, but there's a lot of young blood on there, and the kind of fights they're delivering a lot of time in the bantamweight sort of division, you know, it's pretty boring. They're pretty slow. The only exciting fight on the card is Dushennois, which, frankly, you know what I mean, he's a featherweight, and the guys he's been fighting and knocking out are other featherweights coming down, so they look slow and tired as well. When he fights someone like me, a true bantamweight, he won't be able to even touch me, let alone get a shot on me. It's the same with Philpot. Philpot hasn't made weight in the last, I don't know, I think he made weight twice out of 5 fights. The guy's clearly not a natural bantamweight, or he's just lazy, one of the two. Either way, you know, for me the division's wide open. I'm exciting, I'm way more skilled than the opposition, and those guys, they just don't bring it. They're boring. That's it, straight up. So that's why they're putting me in line for the Lonsdale title. They wanted some excitement in the Bamma division.
Can I just rewind that just there for a second? Did you just call up Dushennois?
Dushennois, yeah. Don't need to call him out. I think he's pretty average. Again, I think he's been fighting guys that are so slow that it's going to be easy to knock out guys that don't move, that are stuck in the mud. Again, he won't be able, when that opportunity comes up, I'll finish him. Simple as that. He won't be able to touch me.
What would it mean to you to win the Lonsdale title?
Everything.
And after, you know, should this, you know, fight go your way, what would be your plans next?
Honestly, every fighter says it, but I only look one fight at a time. My sensible fighter says that. I don't care what comes next. Right now, the Lonsdale title to me is the world title. It doesn't matter what anybody says, that is my most important fight out right now. And I'm taking Philpot 100% seriously because he's holding my strap. And I'm taking it back.
Wow. Tell us about training. I mean, how has training been going? What have you been kind of working on in preparation for this fight?
Good. I haven't had to change up much. Philpot's pretty predictable, so I just need to play my game, keep to my strengths. There's no magic technique. I've been around for a very long time, very experienced, seen everything he's going to do already. For me, it's a mental game. He's already quite weak mentally. I'll break him in that area before we even get to the fight. Like I said, he's going to be questioning himself, he's going to be scared, he's going to watch this interview and say to himself, you know what, everything Aaron's saying is actually true. He's not making up stuff, I'm talking facts, I'm not talking fiction. So when we get in there, that's in the back of his mind already. And when he watches back my footage, he says, yeah, Aaron moves, Aaron actually hits people and doesn't get hit. Philpot gets hit. He gets choked out in 2 minutes in a fight. When the last time you see me do that? I haven't lost in 7 years. It's a long time.
I think we can stop the interview at this point. Wow. Aaron, thank you very much for your time. No doubt we will see you again very shortly, and hopefully you have a nice shiny Lonsdale belt on the right hand side of your shoulder to go along with the hard work that you've put into the game over the years.
Thank you.
So before we go, is there any other thing you'd like to say, or anybody you'd like to thank, or in fact, do you have any words for Alan Philpot?
I think I've said everything already to Alan Philpot. I don't want to, make him seem any worse than he is. I know he's going to be coming with his A game, but truthfully, it's not good enough. In terms of shout-outs, I definitely want to shout out all my teammates in Nova Forza, my coaches Rocky, Matt Williams, Matt Walton, Paul Wright, Ricardo da Silva, Raheem. I've got so many good coaches, so many world-class people around me. I've got a family, I've got a strong winning team around me, which I feel very confident in.
There you have it, Aaron Smackwell, Blackwell, and we'll see you soon. Us.